we are here today. That is to tell you that National Assembly sacrificed everything for your needs and for the good of the nation. I'm going to start by going through the motion so that you will understand clearly. Customs, I want you to listen attentively. I know you have a copy, but for the good of the public, it's good for us to let them know why we are here this time. And I want also to let you know that I had to seek the audience. I seek the permission of Mr. Speaker, who granted us the leave for us to be here today. We appreciate him so much because he values Nigerians. And that's why he gave us the opportunity to hold this particular meeting, for us to be able to get the report ready as soon as we resume, so that we lay it on the plenary. I'm going to read it as it was referred to us. Matters of urgent public importance. Unrest in Iseyin local government area for your state due to killing of indigents by men of Nigeria Customs Service. The House note with shock the killing on Thursday, 13th May 2021, of 5 indigents of Ojaoba, an ancient town in Iseyin local government area of Oyo State, namely Oluwatobi. I hope Oluwatobi has his representative say. Wasiu, Abdulaziz, Ablahi,
they were still coming. They were coming.
and Umar Abu by men of the Nigeria Customs Service. Also note that according to eyewitness accounts, the men of Nigeria Customs Service pursued a sport utility vehicle, SUV, conveying bags of rice and shot sporadically at the vehicle, leading to the death of the indigents. Regrets that the ancient town of Ojaoba was thrown into mourning on a day when they should have been celebrating the Eid al-Fitr due to acts of negligence, abuse of authority, gross misconduct, and disregard for human lives by men of Nigeria Customs Service. Worried that if the custom officers were properly cautioned and trained before their recruitment, bearing in mind that they carry arms, the tragic killing would have been avoided by their being more cautious. Aware that Section 13 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended under the fundamental objectives and directive principles of the state policy, provide that it shall be the duty of organs of government and of all authorities and persons exercising legislative, executive, or judicial powers to conform to observe and apply the provisions of this chapter of this Constitution, particularly Section 14(2), which states that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. And the House resolved, that's why we are here, to mandate this committee of custom and insight to investigate the incident and report back within 2 weeks. That's why we see during this holiday we have to call this meeting. They also urge the federal government to review the rules of engagement of the Nigeria Customs Service as it relates to arms usage. And then they mandate us to invite the CGC to liaise with the committee. So if it is beyond the power of the acting DCG today, the CG might have to appear in person. But if it is what you can handle, then there will be no problem. That is, invite the Controller General of Customs to liaise with the Committee on Custom and Excise so as to ensure compensation for the affected families, prosecute the erring officers, and make sure of adherence to the rules of customs officers not exceeding 40 kilometers from the borders. Honorable Pella Shina Abiola Iseyin Itesiwaju Kajola, Federal Constituency, is the mover of the motion. He told you initially, this is why we are here. We don't have much story to listen to, apart from hearing from you. We hear from the side of the people, and then we equally hear from the side of custom. Then our members are here. We have lawyers among us. We have even judges. So they know what to do. They will do justice to it. So whatever we resolve will be laid at the plenary. Immediately we resume on 14th of September. So thank you so much. Honorable colleagues, I think it's better we hear from the side of the people first, then the custom, we hear from them also.
May this year, 20.
Remove your face mask so that we can hear you well.
On the 13th of May, 2021, the incidents occurred around 4:30 p.m. in the evening during the Eid al-Fitr Eid day after the Ramadan. Majority of those people that were killed, they were not smugglers. They were only going on performing their official duty. Some are Okada riders, some painter, some are just going on the road when the stray bullet hit most of them and they died. We didn't say that the custom or any other government agents should not perform their official duty. But what baffles most that when you consider the nearness of a certain town to the nearest border, if not more than 200, it will be 200 kilometers to the border. And we believe that there is a stipulation of 25 kilometers to the border where the customs can operate. If they were able to catch these smugglers within that limit, we believe they were performing their duty. But coming down to the township, where people are going on, performing their duty, going on and there, most of the people didn't were aware that there is a conflict or something between the customs and the smugglers. They wasted 5 lives. There are some who are even being hit by these bullets, but they were not died. But 5 persons died instantly. The old town, because this will not be the first time of this thing happening in Seyin. We can count 1, 2, 3. And that is why the community head, the king, said enough is enough. We can no longer hold it. At least these people that were killed, all of them were wives, children, and dependent relatives. And they were not smugglers. They have their own official duty. So we are praying to this committee to help us look into it very deeply. We don't know how the custom will be operating their duty so that it won't affect the people. We were not even talking of our town alone, all the towns, because we were baffled. We don't know how they were doing their duty so that these goods have crossed almost 50 towns before coming to Iseyin. And Iseyin is more than 200 kilometers to the borders. So we don't know how they were doing it. So in short, we want a compensation for the deceased. Because they have wives, as I said, the children, the dependent relatives, and all sorts. So we are praying this committee to help us look into it so that whatever they can do, so as to compensate those that were being affected. Your Honorable House, thank you.
The position of the service with respect to the incident on the penultimate date of 13th happens in the base of the Nigerian Customs Service at Iseyin. Sir, at the base, there is a custom formation of the service at Iseyin.
Our good people from Iseyin, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I will just say I will give some preliminary background, then the assistant legal advisor will go on with the position from the service. I want to say, first and foremost, that there is no custom personnel that is not trained. Before you are ever recruited and deployed, you must undergo basic training, including weapon handling. That is that. 2, customs operations are not necessarily limited to the borders. We are not under any limitation. Under Section 158 of SEMA, we are to patrol freely. SEMA is an act of parliament.
It's a moribund act.
It is
That
still
act
in
is
existence
moribund.
until it is repealed. It is still the act we are working with. You are working on the amendment. And until that is done, we are working with what we have. So under Section 158, we are to patrol freely, no inhibitions. So we are not limited to 40 kilometers from the border.
Yeah.
That is that. Then, 3, the incident in Iseyin relates to our federal operations units, not the Osun Oyo Command. Federal Operation Controls Zone A covers the whole of the Southwest. And on intelligence, they can go anywhere to operate. But the particular incident of 13th of May, the assistant legal advisor has come up with a position which he will read out. You can continue.
The incident, sir, on the penultimate day, the men and officers of the respondent were at a roving patrol. They intercepted 2 jeeps, 2 vehicles, jeeps vehicles, sir, laden with parboiled foreign rice. So they make that arrest in consonant with the provisions of the law that gave them the powers to make arrests. We make a particular reference to Section 8 of the Nigeria Custom Service Law, that is SEMA LFN 2004, sir, which gave the custom personnel the powers same as that of the police. Yes, they have the powers of the police officers to make arrest, detention, and possibly prosecute.
Possibly prosecute? Where is it? Read that section for me.
Section.
Where were you given the power to prosecute?
Yes, we have.
Read it for me in the act.
Yes, sir. We have the powers to prosecute, sir. Section 168. Section 180, sir. Section 180 precisely of the SEMA has given the custom the powers to prosecute. Yes, sir. Section 180, I'm very particular.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
We understand. Just go ahead.
Yes, sir.
So you have the power. No?
On the penultimate day, like I said, these arrests were made of 2 jeeps laden with smuggled parboiled rice.
2 jeeps.
2 jeeps.
What type of jeep?
Sir?
The model of the jeep.
Yes, Pathfinder jeeps. Pathfinder, 2 Pathfinder jeeps.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes,
How many
sir.
bags of rice were inside?
Let us allow him to finish now. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, immediately after the making of this arrest, the smugglers that were being intercepted by the customs.
Please.
We'll separate them, Mr. Chairman. I mean.
No, please. Let's be serious now. Go ahead.
The smugglers being intercepted by the customs officers run away, abandon the Pathfinder jeeps laden with those items, that is this parboiled rice. The officers and men of the service took charge of the seizure made. So on their way to their base at Isenyi, they came across a group of mob who blocked the road and attempted to dispossess them of the seizure. So the Nigeria Customs Service men, by virtue of Section 11 of SEMA, they are not supposed to be distorted by anybody when performing their duties. So in the event that ensued, while they were trying to convey the seizure to their base, the mobs tried to attack the officers while on the road. So, looking at what is going on, the officers swiftly dispersed them by making a shot on the sky. They successfully dispersed them, sir. And they have conveyed their seizure to their base at Isenyi. So having got to Isenyi base, sir, a mammoth crowd emerged at the base, wherein our officers, 2 of our officers, sir, were caught by the mob. They were injured by the same mob. So they've been taken to the hospital at Ibadan, but the hospital at Ibadan could not even take care of them, but the referral was made to take them to Lagos, sir, for treatment, sir.
Right.
So well at that base, the officers got overpowered. They got overpowered by the mob that attacked them. So in fact, an attempt was made to abduct an officer of the service. And in view of that, an attempt to abduct an officer of the service and the overpowering of the men and officers of the service by the mobs, the leader of the FOU, sir, has to make a call for the intervention of the sister agencies. And in the course of that, sir, the military were contacted, the Nigerian army. My lord, before the arrival of the Nigerian army personnel for the rescue mission, the mob have dispossessed, they successfully dispossessed one of the injured officer of his rifle. Yes, sir. They dispossessed one of the injured officers of his rifle before the intervention by the army personnel. Okay. At the coming of the army personnel, they joined hand with the officers that are there to calm down the situation and retrieve the rifle from the mobs. Sir, it is an offense in this country by virtue of the law we operate for anybody to distort officers and men from performing their duty. Sir, the mobs, they didn't just come armless. They were well armed because they carry cutlasses, they carry machetes, they carry big trees and sticks. They carry stones. Yes, sir. They carry stones. They were pelting the personnel with the stones, cutting them with their machetes and cutlasses. So that was what has happened on the penultimate day. Sir, the service, in trying to respond, despite the fact that we've not been given the actual copy that Mr. Chairman read from the beginning of the petition, but we understand. Yes.
So they killed them?
No, nobody kills anybody.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
The motion is the petition. It's the motion. So you have the complete copy, including the referral from the house. We gave it to the CG.
It's all right, sir. So the service, we can avail the committee with the position. Sir, attached to the position of the service, sir, is the immediate incident report to show the house that we have nothing to hide, that emanate from the personnel on ground. We attach it through our position for submission before you, Mr. Chairman.
But before you submit,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Use your mind.
thank you. Confirm whether your servicemen killed members of the Asian community or not, please.
Sir, there was no incident of killing. We didn't kill anybody. We didn't kill anybody.
You let us know so that.
Yes, sir. Finally, sir. Are being guided by SEMA, like I said. Particularly, sir, Section 8 of the SEMA, which gives the customs the power of the police. Sir, there is also Section 11 of the same SEMA, which make it an offense, a very grievous offense for anybody to interrupt a custom officer while performing his duty. So there is also Section 159 of SEMA, which also make it an offense to interrupt an officer, and it gives the officers the power to make seizure. So Section 159 of the same SEMA gave a punishment for death for anyone to confiscate or use any weapon against the servicemen, sir. So, in a nutshell, what has happened on the 13th of May 2021, sir, the officers were on their legitimate duty as permitted by law. Sir, the allegation that they were shooting sporadically, sir, that they are shooting sporadically and they have left about 50 communities and villages, sir, calls for concern before this honorable house. That what actually happens at the Isenyi? Are the officers drunk? Well, they came to Isenyi. Why didn't they make such an alleged attack in those 50 villages they have passed, as admitted by the petitioners themselves? This is a poster that calls for the House to discern on. So, sir, that is the position of the service, except if my Oga here has some other things to add.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Down. 2 patrol vehicle, healers, were also completely burnt. This was clear hostility because we operated and we operate under the laws guiding us. We didn't set ourselves up. So, like my ALA has said, these are issues that call for concern. The wrong notion that customs cannot operate outside of 40 kilometers from the border is completely wrong. Like I tried to say, we are not under any limitation. Under Section 158, we can patrol freely. On information, we can go to anywhere and do our thing. If we make seizures, we have to defend those seizures. We are not to be dispossessed of our seizures under Section 11. This will be our submission for now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
The picture of those that were killed here. And majority of us are their witness that day. Yeah, this lawyer, well, at least he was not around. We are the people that were in the town. They were talking of the mobs. These mobs they were talking about is the community. When they learned that the majority of those that died are not smugglers, that was when they now raised up that, what caused all this? The people that killed were not smugglers. How come? Abi, it's a law forbidding everybody performing his official duty going on, not to be going, especially on the ill day.
No, please,
Because you are
Now,
you are capable, that's why they sent you here. From you want to hear.
The honorable representing is saying Honorable Son can testify to it because he went around all the family house of those that were killed. And he even promised majority of us that he will be responsible for the schools, upkeeping of the children.
Okay.
The story painted by the custom lawyer is very straightforward to me. Now, because I was following your story, the issue is that there was an attempted way to stop a smuggler at the saying with 2 vehicles. Your men wanted to apprehend smuggler at the saying town. And in that act, you also said that there was shooting to the air by your men. And you said that at the time when the EU was going out of hand, you invited army to come in. You invited army to come in. You see, all these scenarios has painted a bad situation. A situation that was not well managed by custom. And let me say it here that the people that were killed are saying indigents. And you will note that not everybody that smuggles through that route are saying indigents. That portends that people that were killed by stray bullets, not even the smugglers. And to say that you apprehended people at the saying that you have not killed people in other places before you saying that's the right thing. No, it is you that met people at the saying. You will have done that. For you not to even do that in the 50 villages, it is a disservice. Because even those smugglers, they are not even. It's illegal for them to get to a saying. Getting to a saying is not a good work for customs. They leave 50 villages, they go to a saying.
What you are saying is that they're supposed to have apprehended them at the border.
At the border, not the saying.
Okay.
So by getting to a saying, now you made a saying community to pay for your negligence of coming into town. They ought not to have come to the town. So, if you are talking of mob, yes, you should expect mob when people died. You should expect that they should attack your office when people have been killed. Innocent people have been killed. You want them to be laughing? And the KBC said, you people sent emissaries to them to beg them. And for you to come to this place to tell us that nobody died, you are a human being. I can't say people did die. That everywhere in the world, the whole country, were aware of it, and will come here to tell us that nobody died, and you want us to believe you? Do you know that the people that died, they have their own God? So, gentlemen, this story is very simple. You have made mistake in this thing, and you have all of the mistake. That's why you send message to the cabinet to beg them. So coming here to be twisting words, I don't like it. People died. They have families, they have dependents. Why are we twisting words?
Honorable, let us hear from other colleagues. Honorable Goli.
Thank you very much for giving me. After the death of this man, or have they been buried?
They have been buried.
Was there any autopsy conducted before their burial to determine the cause of their death? There was no autopsy to know whether it was a gunshot injury that killed them or whatever.
One house, please. One house.
Involved. Okay, that determine what killed the people. Okay. View that you are very economical with the truth. That was why I interjected as something. The mentioned that your office was completely razed down.
Yes, sir.
Afterwards. I won't take you for your words. That was why I said your story is a bit funny, and
No,
you are
sir.
very economical with the truth.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. You see,
Because that you are telling us here is hearsay.
No, sir. We have documentary evidence to back it up.
Okay,
We have
I
documentary
rest my
evidence
case
to
for
back it
now.
up. Yes, sir.
He doesn't know even anything about the killing. As a human being, I think those communities are here. And we are all human beings. If you are not there, you must hear what is happening exactly in that place. You are a lawyer. We know you are a lawyer, but be straight. And you are a human being. And this can happen to anybody.
Can I respond, sir?
You cannot respond, write it down.
You Zone A, FOU, supposed to be here.
I see no reason why it's not here. And even those people that were at that scene, his officers supposed to be here. Because all this one you are telling us is story that you heard from far. So I'm not happy with the representation. Honorable Mukhtar.
And the others will go to the community. Learned Counsel, from your submission, you did allude to the fact that the mob that attacked the custom formation with a view to maybe releasing the impounded items were armed with sticks, cudgels, stones, and machetes. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
None of them from your submission was armed with firearms. None of them was carrying guns. You didn't tell us that. No, I'm not. Just hold on. None was carrying guns.
Yes. But they have dispossessed.
Hold on.
You are not going to subject.
You see,
Honorable colleagues, let me tell him, this is National Assembly. When a honorable member is talking, you listen. Okay? Whatever you have in response, you write it down. Then later you can respond. That's how it is.
did you say you're sorry? You say to the community people. You have a copy of the doctor's report. Yes. Yeah. What does it say about? Let's have a look at it. The cause of the death.
Madam, sit down. Madam, sit down. Madam, sit down. Madam, sit down, please.
That is the doctor's report on the cause of death. Is that correct?
It looks like a certificate, sir.
Just a moment. Can you read out the content?
Yes, sir.
Read out the content.
I hereby certify that I have medically attended Mr. Akintola Toby of Kafolo local government, age 30 years, that I last saw the RCM on the 13th May 2021, that he was then suffering from gunshot injury, died.
Take it easy.
As I'm aware, or informed on the 13th day of May 2021 at about 5:04 p.m. and that the cause of death was, to the best of my knowledge and belief, as herein stated, viz. Primary cause, gunshot; secondary cause, gunshot injury; and that the disease had continued until he died. Witness my hand this 13th day of May 2021.
Thank you.
Okay, now back.
From what he was told in the documents.
From what who was told?
He said, yes, in the document. The document speak for
Yeah,
itself.
let me see this.
As I was informed, that means the doctor.
Chairman, take up and put the house in order.
Now, this is the last time we are going to give. We are not joking here. Everybody you see here is representing a constituency of thousands of people. And we are talking about life you are interjecting. When you were reading how many people interjected you? This will be the last time I will drive all of you out here. Go ahead.
So, death is as a result of gunshot wounds. You have also told this panel that men of the customs shot into the air to disperse the crowd, allegedly. What conclusions, what rational conclusions can you draw from that? Then secondly, that's the first one. Secondly,
We have questions here.
yes, you also said that they were pursuing vehicles, that is maybe 2 SUVs.
Hilux.
You said SUVs, Pathfinder Jeeps.
Okay, is the Hilux that was born?
Yes. They were pursuing 2 Pathfinders or whatever. You see, you have made a good showing of the argument on the basis of the law. You ignored the facts. You are supposed to attach the law to the facts. That's remnant from Salah. You are supposed to attach the law to the facts. You have not stated the fact, you start reading out the law. I want to suggest to you, sir, that if in the course of protecting or performing your duty, you have to determine between whether to kill or shoot and kill people and protecting 2 truckloads of rice. You see, it's a matter of discretion. You cannot, because if you put it on a scale, discretion would have told you that it was reckless, with all due respect, to have embarked on such an exercise. Mr. Chairman, sir, distinguished members, I think that we really, really need, the only thing that I thought we ought to have done relates to the question asked by one of our colleagues here, that there was no autopsy report ab initio on all the victims. But this particular answer puts to rest the question as to what killed that person. And to that extent, sir, I think death has been established, whichever way you look at it, from gunshot wounds. Unless you say that the people shot at themselves, and that argument would have been defeated by your own admission that none of them was carrying arms. I rest. For now, I put.
That he examined. But based on the report, what you read, you started by saying, I hereby certify that I have medically attended to the patient. What is the difference, we want to know, between the medically attended and examined?
That's the only question. Yes, sir. Let him write it down.
I've had a cry from the side of the petitioners. I would want to pour my heart out to you for your loss and to ask Allah Almighty to grant you the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. Whatever you are asking for here will not replace that life. So we are really very sorry for your loss. But I want us to have 1 or 2 things that I would show, especially to the... Can you allow that man to listen to us? This reporter, wait now. If you want to be asking questions, go and win election. Come and sit here. You did mention that the incident happened around 4:30, right? Yes. Okay. But from this doctor's report here, the deceased was taken to the hospital and was examined by this doctor at around 5:04 p.m., which is about 30 minutes.
30 minutes later.
Within 30 minutes after the gunshot.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so and you are agreeing that this thing happened at the custom base, the shooting?
No. No. Inside town, for anybody who has been to the town, it's almost, it's almost from the entry point to the last edge, it's almost 10 kilometers.
Because what I want to bring together is the fact that custom is saying that it happened at the custom base.
No.
And I heard when you made your own submission that it happened outside the...
Outside custom base.
So it was after they have shot at people...
And when they were out...
Let me finish. It was after they have shot at people
that
people now gathered at the custom office.
Honorable Mukhtar,
now,
I'm asking him to be...
I'm leading. Because the thing is this, if you look at the timing of 4:30 shooting and 5 o'clock, doctors examining, and custom is saying that the thing happened at the custom base. Do you understand what I'm saying? The timing is not adding up. And
You want him to be giving you a sign?
Chairman, let me answer.
That's what you want.
I want him to just give me the answer because that way we will make progress easily. So the shooting happened not at the custom base. It's in the Shein town. That was why people now gathered at custom office because they have been shot at.
This was when the first person were hit by the bullet, that the people now gather, because those people that were killed were not in smugglers. And that is why the mobs now gather together pursuing the vehicle. And before they can now reach their base again, they still shoot another 3 persons.
Okay.
Died instantly. Those 3 people died instantly, making 5 altogether.
Okay. No, he has already mentioned that what the people they shot at are not smugglers. It's people going about their normal business in town. I'm answering my elder. So your prayer is that you should be compensated for these 5 lives.
Yes, sir.
And you did mention that there were some injuries also amongst the people. You are not asking for compensation for the injuries.
For the injuries.
The only thing is that when we were making the complaint at the police station, at Hussein and at the Yadnaku headquarters.
If you can tell us how many people were injured, it will be very good to help this committee.
At least about 2 were injured.
2 people?
Yes.
Okay, and you are not asking for compensation for their injuries?
Yes, sir.
You are not?
They were not represented here, but we knew of it that there are 2 people that were injured.
Okay, now to the customs. My learned colleague, when you are making your presentation, why I allowed him to answer so that when you are answering your own, you will relate it. Now, mob gathered at the customs base, and what they are trying to do, according to your submission, is to take back what has been taken away by the custom. Is it the practice of Ishayin people that every time you make an arrest or seizure, that people will gather at your base? Is it the practice of the Ishayin people to do that? They gather after every seizure, because you agreed that this seizure was made by men of the Federal Operations Unit from Lagos. And we all agree that by the SEMA Act, they can operate anywhere within the jurisdiction given to, what do you call them?
The zone.
The zone. They can operate. Now, is it the practice of Ishayin people that every time you make a seizure, they now gather in front of your office to collect? Is that the practice? If that is not the practice, why is it that in this case, only this case, that you have them mob gathering, coming with sticks, with stones, with trees to come and attack the custom office? What made it a special one for them to do that? And let me guide you, my learned counsel. If you keep saying that it is hearsay, hearsay, even with you as a lawyer, everything that they are giving you is also hearsay because you are not there physically. So we shouldn't just dismiss it to say that everything is hearsay. You understand what I'm saying? Because even you as a lawyer, or even the DCG with due respect, he wasn't there. So if we only say that only those people that are incident have the right to talk, then all of us here, with the exception of this lady and these people that were present, nobody will say anything. So we should be guided, please. So my questions are 2. 1, is it the practice of Ishayin people to gather as a mob anytime you make seizure? If it is not, why is it that in this case they gathered? Then finally, when the team leader requested for the Nigerian army to come, did they come eventually? And if they did come, maybe, since it is not the custom that killed the 5 people like you said, maybe it's the army. Am I making sense? Thank you very much.
Yeah, Honorable Goroki, so, but why is it that you don't know his name? He introduced himself at the inception. So maybe we have to do the introduction.
These 2 jeeps of maybe 50 bags highest of rice. What killing 5 people? Haba. Secondly, let me put it to you that I served the Nigerian police for 32 years before resigning.
Accidental discharge.
Firing in the air, go to anywhere in the world is prohibited. Go to anywhere in the world, firing in the air is prohibited. Why did your men fire in the air? One, we have reasons why we discourage that. First and foremost, the cost of these bullets is too expensive that we don't want our personnel to be firing in the air. Secondly, even the mosque, if you are firing in the air, nobody is falling on their side, they will come the more because they say their bullet is not working. That's what we were taught. And Mr. Lawyer, this panel beating you are doing, it will not help this matter. It will not help this matter. We are trying to find a way to settle up this issue. The Nigerian custom base has been in Ishain for long. As my colleague has said, instances have not come up, it's only this one. And you are talking of burning your car, whatever, the base. It was after you killed. Everybody know, we are Nigerians. By the time you kill, people will go astray. So please, let us find a way. We are talking of people's life. Please, thank you.
Chairman, I just have
Thank you.
Chairman, just one follow-up question.
Excuse, please, one house.
One follow-up.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I came late as a matter of fact, but I know that somebody say, they hear English, but then they hear Kacha. From what I'm hearing and what I've just gotten, I just have to, that will enable us conclude. One is that I want to ask the customs, was this matter incidented in Oyo Command?
Answer.
Was it incidented in Oyo Command where this incident took place?
You answer now, answer. You want to answer now.
Just answer because I'm looking for adjournment.
DCG. Yes, sir. This is the
Was
incident.
it incidented in
Yes,
Oyo Command?
this is the incident.
So where is the area commander? Where is the CAC? Charge of Oyo Command? Where is the CAC? Where is the CAC? Where is the DC enforcement? Where is the legal officer there? Where is the zonal coordinator in charge of those areas? Because FOU, the CAC FOU here. Why I'm asking this question is that we cannot shave their hairs in the absence. They need to be here. So, Chairman, if they are not here, you either adjourn the case and call for the CG, or this room must be here for them to give you what they call what is in the eyes is what you in the ear. If you finish this matter now, they can come around and say, ask the right questions to the right people. Because I know that it's saying it's in your command. And the CAC must have known this, and the DC in charge of enforcement there must have stated this. The legal officer there should be there. I know that this legal officer may be headquarters, I don't know. But let me advise that the lawyer, life is involved here. And like my chairman observed, please, death is the most democratic of all processes in life. Everybody participates in it. And everybody has one vote. Whether you like it or not, you will die. So when you see people die and send their condolence, it's not a laughing matter. Life is involved here. Those principal actors who are in charge of where this incident happened must be here. Mr. Chairman, before you conclude, I therefore call for adjournment of this matter.
I second.
When you see an elderly man with gray hair, it connotes wisdom. So,
Question: if we are adjourning, then there is no need for me to put in the question. The adjournment, as if I understand from my elder, is that let's have the right people here, so that whatever questions we are asking the right people. From the way the lawyer is panel beating, according to this policeman, you understand? We really need to have the people that are here.
Honorable Mukhtar,
And if the chairman so wishes and the committee, I would want to second the motion of this adjournment until we have the right people in place. Thank you.